Om Shanti and greetings of peace. Om means I am and Shanti means peace. Throughout the day, whenever we are meeting anyone, we greet them. Usually we say good morning, good evening, good day, good night. Always a positive affirmation at the start. Good morning. Not just morning, but we say good morning. So here in the organization, we greet each other with the words Om Shanti. It's so important to know, to recognize that peace and positivity, they are the natural nature of the soul, the self. If we, for a moment, forget that and we look around us, the negative energy that is in the atmosphere, that is in people's behavior, we can get disturbed. So it is imperative, it is so essential to recognize that my nature is that of peace. When I came here, I came in a state of peace. And even when I depart, the last wish from everyone is, may you rest in peace, reminding us that that is our true nature. So tonight we're going to talk about how thinking positive can be the solution for almost every problem. Almost every problem can be solved by thinking positively. Rather than investing many other resources, time and all other resources is invested to solve problems. But the most inexpensive method, the easiest one, is to hold on to positivity at all costs. Because if we examine carefully, we will discover that most problems come from the thoughts we create. Most of the problems and most of the solution also lies in the mind. Because thoughts are like seeds, and the capacity of the human mind is to create some 40,000 thoughts per day. So how many seeds are we planting throughout the day? And so what kind of fruits we will expect from the thoughts, the seeds we are planting. So let's examine the different types of thoughts. They are positive thoughts, one category. And positive thoughts are thoughts that benefit the self and others. Thoughts of optimism, thoughts of cooperation, thoughts of giving respect and receiving respect, thoughts of caring and sharing. These are positive thoughts that are harmless. And there are another category of thoughts called negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are thoughts of anger, harmful intention, selfish motives, thoughts of lying, thoughts of cheating. These are negative thoughts, and they are also harmful to the self as well as to others. Another category of thoughts are wasteful thoughts, thoughts of assumption, coming to a conclusion without not knowing all the facts, thoughts of the past, We can't change the past. So thinking about the past is wasteful thoughts. Worrying about tomorrow are wasteful thoughts because it has not been promised to anyone. Today is a guarantee. Today is a must. Today has a level of certainty. But tomorrow, who knows? Thoughts of high expectations. They say higher our expectation, greater our risk of being disappointed. So any thoughts of expectation can be placed in the category of waste thoughts. And they are necessary thoughts. Thoughts related to our responsibility, to the role we play. Necessary thoughts. What are we going to cook today? What do we do next? As are our thoughts, so are our perception. Like if I keep thinking about something or someone or a situation, and I keep negative thoughts or positive thoughts, one type of thoughts, whether they are positive about the situation or they're negative. If those thoughts stays with me over a given period of time, meaning I keep thinking about that situation, thinking positively about that situation, or thinking negatively about that situation, over a given period of time, I have formed an opinion. I have formed a perception. And based on my perception, that will color my vision, how I will see, define that situation. And based on my vision, I will act accordingly. So thoughts, perception, vision, action. And this is why there's a saying, watch your thoughts. They become words. Watch your words. They become actions. Watch your actions. They become habits. Watch your habits. They form your personality. Watch your personality. They shape your destiny. Think about it. Think about the cycle of negative thoughts for a moment. I think I'm going to fail. I'm not going to pass my examination because I'm not good enough. And then I start remembering all the other occasions in the past that I had failed, and I develop fear. I take the examination in fear. I fail, and I prove I am not good enough. So the thoughts ultimately become the projection. Thoughts manifest. Thoughts become reality. Thoughts become outcomes. They become our destiny. Let's examine the cycle of positive thoughts. I am good enough. I will pass my examination. And then I start remembering all the other occasions when I had passed my examination before. So I develop confidence. I take the examination in confidence. I pass. I prove I am good enough. So how important to understand the mind. How important is to understand our thoughts will one day shape our destiny. This is why in the organization, our emphasis is placed on spending quality time with our mind. Understand the mind. It is the best thing that we have, the greatest asset, because the mind can make you great. The mind can be your best friend. The mind can be your worst enemy. The mind can support you or undermine you. The mind has so much power because the mind is the instrument used to create thoughts followed by feelings and emotion. I think, I feel what I think, and I experience the emotion of those thoughts. So typically, we blame other people for how we are feeling, or we blame the situation, saying it is because of that situation I'm feeling depressed, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling disturbed. The situation is external, and I can keep it there. It can stay outside. I don't have to allow it to come inside my mind. But the feelings, the thoughts, feelings, and emotion that gets triggered by the situation is what brings happiness or sorrow. This is why there's a saying, act is the blossom of thought. Joy and suffering are its fruit. So we are all living magnet. So we are all living magnet. We can attract in our life all that we want: money, resources, everything that we want to achieve. We can achieve that in life. We are not at the mercy of anything. We are not the victim of anything, but we are master of everything. If we only understand our thoughts and our mind. So the magnet principle says, like attracts like. You will attract the people, the circumstances, the events, money, and any other resources that you want in life. You can attract all of it by your most dominant thoughts. So if you believe that you can make it, you can achieve your goal, and you entertain only that which supports your belief, thoughts that support your belief. You have the faith in yourself. You have the consistency doing it, thinking along that line repeatedly, always thinking it is possible. And if you keep thinking it is possible, you have 100% faith in it, what's going to happen? Because when you're thinking, you're sending out that energy into the universe. And like attracts like. If you send out positive energy, it will come bouncing back to you. Like a magnet, it will draw you to itself. Equally, if you send out negative energy, you'll get the same result. So see the power of the human mind. Everything that we love today, all the technology, or a phone or tablet or computer or television, flying in the jet aircraft, going on the cruise ship. I once went to visit, not to go on a cruise, but I had the golden opportunity to go and visit for a couple of hours in Allure of the Sea, one of the largest cruise ships created. We spend hours without sitting down for a moment, and we looked everywhere around. And everything that can provide entertainment, all forms of entertainment you can think of. It's like a floating city, everything. Name it, it's there. So all of that, the creation of the cruise ship, the creation of all the gadgets, all the facilities that we've gotten so used to and dependent on, they have been created in the human mind. Someone came up with the thought of having a floating city, a city on water, and they were able to do that. So everything is right here, right now, right in our mind that you cannot see. Such an invisible, incognito instrument, the mind. Yet the power of the mind has created technology, science. What can we not achieve with the human mind, which can make me fly if I want to? Anything and everything is at your fingertips. It's there. But you have to believe that you can do it. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So no one can prevent us from achieving any goal whatsoever if we understand the potential of the human mind. And this is why it is so important to sit down quietly by yourself, not the whole day, not neglecting your responsibility, just a few minutes to understand your best friend, your mind. Don't you want to spend quality time with your best friend to see what your mind is engaged in? Is it mischievous? Is it creating beneficial thoughts? Is it idle? They say an idle mind is like a devil's workshop. We have a responsibility, especially in the morning. If we can spend few minutes, just sit quietly and observe your mind, but not just observe it idly. What is important is to create positive affirmation at the start of the day. Like you say to your mind, I am the best. I am star of success. Happiness is my natural nature. Success is my birthright. I am healthy, happy, and peaceful. Can I not create few positive thoughts in the morning, giving the mind instruction, reminding the mind that you are the boss, you are the owner, you are the master, and that the mind is there to serve you? Because when we don't give homework to the mind, and the mind needs to think, the mind needs to create thoughts. Once the soul is in the body, whether we are sleeping or we are waking, whether we are active or inactive, whatever the situation, once the soul is in the body, the mind is active. So you want to ensure that your mind is engaged profitably. The mind is doing that which support your goal. So every morning, just create 2 or 3 thoughts. I'm healthy. Peace is my natural nature. I belong to the world's greatest human family. I'm a child of God, and all God's inheritance is my birthright. So think few thoughts. And when you do that, you're giving food for thought. You're engaging the mind constructively. Just like you have a little kid, and the kid does not know what is right or what is wrong, but the kid has a lot of energy. So when the child who have a lot of energy wants to explore, wants to discover, but does not know what is safe and what is unsafe, what is right and what is wrong. So you, as the parent of the child, you who is responsible for the child, will keep your eyes on the child. You will make sure the child is in your vision all the time. You want that child to be visible because you want to make sure that child is safe. So rather than telling that child, don't play with the fire, don't go there, don't do that, instead, what you say to the child, you give the child a scrap book or a drawing book and some pencils or markers or crayons, and you said, draw this, paint this, write this. Or give them a puzzle and say, fix this puzzle. You engage the child constructively. Our mind is like an unruly child. And we have to train that mind, just like how we train that child. You want to teach that child manners. You want to help that child understand the value of everything. So you engage the child. You spend quality time with the child. You try to answer questions that the child has. You try to guide the child. Explain to the child patiently. It is the same with the mind. Mind wants to think, but you know the value of thoughts. You know how detrimental negative thoughts are, and you know how beneficial positive thoughts are. And you also know that thoughts are energy, and every thought you create burns your energy. So what do? You have to guarantee that your mind is engaged in thinking constructive, positive, pure thoughts. And who can do that but the owner of the mind? So think about it. Anything I want in life, anything, absolutely anything. I have seen so many miracles in my personal life. Coming to an organization as a volunteer, and an organization that serves without charging fees. And I lived in the center for the last 37 years. And I thought, my life is simple. I don't have much money because I am a volunteer and I'm not being paid. And we are not collecting money as such, like going out and asking anyone for donation. And we're not getting money from the government. How would I survive? But I never had thought. I just was so enthusiastic about wanting to help, wanting to be available, wanting to make my life useful. Little did I know that I would be able, through the organization, travel in over 50 countries. How many people who have a job, who have money, who have all kinds of opportunity aren't able to do? And I was able to do that. And it wasn't something magical. It was something that I thought that I want to share this teaching. I want to serve as many people as possible. I want to take this message of God, want to take this message for the love of humanity across the world. And I've never sat in a plane for pleasure. I've never gone to any place for vacation. And with no money in my pocket, literally, an organization that doesn't have loads of money. And yet, what is not possible? Power of your own mind. You have the deep and pure desire inside. My health, I always think that if I use all my physical senses, all my time and thoughts for the benefit of humanity, I am sure somehow I will stay healthy. I have that aim to use everything for the benefit of others, sacrifice for others. I'm not doing it for that, but I know the outcome will only bring benefit. So what is not possible? Is fortune, prosperity, is happiness, love, and peace only for a few fortunate people? And the answer is no. It is for everyone. But do I believe in it? And do I create the thoughts that will help me to bring that belief into reality? Can I make my thoughts a reality? Can I make my dreams a reality? And the answer is yes. It is in your own hands. All you need to do is dedicate some time for developing the power of the mind. Think about all the scientists, all the doctors, all the surgeons. Think about all the wonders that humanity was able to achieve over centuries. They were all possible through the power of the mind. And so my mind is no less. Your mind is no less. We all were given the same mind. And sometimes we make our mind so small by only thinking about the self, being selfish. And sometimes we make our mind so unlimited by thinking about the rest of humanity, the less fortunate one. If you don't feel to smile, can you smile for somebody else? Even if you're not in a good mood, can you stretch beyond that and say good morning so brightly as if everything is fine? I was speaking with a group on Sunday and I was saying, many religions believe that this period we are going through, called the Iron Age. Let's put it this way. There is a dark tunnel and there's the light at the end of that dark tunnel. But one must go through the dark tunnel, not avoid the dark tunnel, deny it, pretend it doesn't exist, walk away from it. No, we have to face adversity. We have to face obstacles. We have to confront problems, knowing that beyond the dark clouds, there is a silver lining. So once you are experiencing the rainbow, such incredible spectrum of colors in the sky. But at the same time, are you aware that there's a storm next door, not very far away? Heavy rain, heavy shower. And because of that rain and the sunlight, we have rainbow. Rainbow will never come when it's only sunshine or when it's only raining. The two combined together create a rainbow. So enlightenment can only be possible when we face darkness, confronted, face ignorance, confronted, and we go through it and come out with flying colors. Conquer evil, conquer our weakness, conquer our problems, not succumb to it, not making an excuse, I am because, but I must go through bravely, courageously, faithfully, with the conviction that victory is my birthright, that I will find the light. So my approach to challenges and adversity is to embrace it, knowing that through this adversity, I will grow, I will mature, I will reach my highest destination. And this is what positive thinking is all about. Rise to the occasion, not become disturbed or confused or saddened because of the situation, but rather rise to the occasion. Victory is my birthright. I will confront failure and I will conquer failure. I will conquer my weakness. So this dark period we are going through, humanity is going through, is in fact our greatest gift, because we're going to find the light at the end of this dark tunnel. We're going to achieve victory. We have to believe that victory is my birthright and face the challenge. This is positive thinking, knowing that at the end of every dark tunnel, there's a light. Can we not do that? Can we not use our mind to create the quality of thoughts we need to achieve our goal? Can we not fill the atmosphere with positivity? Can we not contribute to healing nature? We can all do that, can we not? We think, whether we are driving, whether we are sipping our coffee, whether we are pedestrian walking on the street, whether we are showering or combing our hair, whatever we do, our mind is active. And so one can make a plan. Every time I'm taking my coffee, I must remember that I am a being of love. I am God's child. Positivity is my natural nature. So every time you pick up your cup to have your coffee, every time you pick up your brush or a comb to comb your hair, or your toothbrush to brush your teeth, just plan it all out. These few moments where our hands are busy, but our mind is free. Capitalize on these few moments. Walking to your car, getting showered, getting dressed. There are many, absolutely many moments during the day where I can utilize those moments to observe my mind, to feed my mind. Ever so often, like you take a coffee break, what you call a power nap, so that you can come back feeling fresh all over again. Then ever so often, every time I go to eat, every time I go to drink, every time I comb my hair, brush my hair, every activity I do when my mind is free, give my mind the homework. Whenever I pick up the brush to brush my hair, that moment I must remember I am a loving being. That moment I will remember I'm sending love and light to everyone in the world. Try it. Keep monitoring your mind. Keep feeding your mind healthy thoughts, beneficial thoughts. Keep engaging your mind constructively, and your mind will work for you. How many of us, we set an alarm on our phone to get up at a certain hour in the morning, and your mind will work for you? How many of us, we set an alarm on our phone to get up at a certain hour in the morning, but because of habitually getting up at that time, my mind will wake me up at a certain time. Before the alarm goes, the mind will say, it's time to wake up. But then I will engage in one of my weak moments, my laziness, and I will say, 5 more minutes, 2 more minutes. Let me turn around and have a nap. I'll get up in 5 minutes. And the mind will say, listen, you're going to run late. You're going to be in trouble. Get up now. But I give in to weakness. And then the mind, after a few tries, says, you're not serious. So the mind will give up. So the mind works for us. At all times, the mind works for us. But when we don't become the master and command the mind, when we don't become master and rule the mind, give the mind constructive direction, and we don't do that, the mind said, well, I need to think. And if you don't give me something to think, to chew on, I'm going to find something. So the mind will go into your past and will bring up memories that you would rather not want to remember. Our mind will plunge into the future and start thinking, what if I get old? What if this happened? What if I retire? What if I lose my job in the future? So mind will create an opportunity for itself if you don't give it some homework. So what would you prefer? Your mind to be the master and you become slave to the mind? Or would you prefer to be master of the mind and give the mind direction? Think about it. So remember, you have such a gift, the gift of the mind, the faculty of the mind. Mind is your best friend. When you go for a walk on the beach, you're going with your mind. Mind is thinking. So why not grab that opportunity? This is what students, I think, do. Every time they're out of the classroom, they still think about examination they have to do. Think about the subject matter. Just like business people, they close the shop in the evening, but do they shut off their mind from their business? They don't. They put the shutters down, but the mind can still think about their business. So please, I'm encouraging all of you, be master of your mind, and it works for you. Just give it direction. There's so many beautiful affirmations online. Just Google 5 positive affirmations, and so many incredible affirmations will come up. You don't even have to think about them. Select the affirmation you would like to have for the whole week. Or every day, select one affirmation. When you engage your mind, you're closer to achieving your goals. But when your mind is left idle, there's a high risk of not achieving anything in life. So the choice is ours. God has given us this gift. And even though God will tell us, don't go in this direction. And if you go in this direction, this can happen to you. But go in that direction instead. And God will tell you why you need to go in that direction. And He will tell you the benefit of going in that direction. And He will tell you the loss you will incur if you go into the opposite direction. But at the end of the day, He leaves all of us with the choice. Why? Because we have been given the gift of the mind. And say, make your choice. Decide for yourself whether you want to win temporarily or you want to win for long term. Do you want to experience happiness permanently? Do you want to experience peace for the here and the hereafter? All we need to do is to engage the mind constructively. Remember, the mind can be like a wild horse. And how we tame the mind? You tame the wild horse and you control the horse by holding the reins in your hand, and you guide the horse the path you want to go to ensure that there is no way you can fall. And if you leave that horse on its own, don't hold the reins, don't control the horse, there's a risk of the horse going into a road that is filled with potholes and the risk of falling and hurting the self. So consider the mind like that wild horse. And guess what? The 5 senses, taste, smell, touching, hearing, seeing. These are 5 physical senses. They are doors and windows of our mind. As soon as we see something beautiful, what thoughts come to our mind? We were watching the scenes during the meditation, beautiful nature scene. As soon as we see something beautiful, thoughts get triggered. As soon as we see something negative, thoughts get triggered. As soon as you smell fresh bread, thoughts get triggered. Wow. As soon as you hear something, thoughts get triggered. As soon as you taste something tasty, thoughts get triggered. So our 5 senses can trigger powerful, positive, pure thoughts, or it can trigger negative thoughts. It's the same. Situation can trigger negative thoughts, and situation can trigger. But at the end of the day, it's my mind and my thoughts, and I am master of the mind. I wasn't born to be slave in no aspect of my life. Victory is my birthright. I'm born as a sovereign, one who rules the self. That's why there's a saying, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, do no evil. Don't engage the 5 senses in any negative way, and you are on the road to controlling your mind. Om Shanti and good night.